Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 25th Anniversary State of the City Address. I'm Dennis Washburn, and I've had the honor of being on the City Council in Calabasas for many years. And I was the first mayor when Doug Goodwin, who you just saw come up here and start the music, walked into the Calabasas High School auditorium and carried in that sheet music and that tape recording, and we played that music. I don't even remember when and how, but that was the first time that the song was there. And what's really interesting about the whole thing is that Doug was one of the very first volunteers that just stepped forward almost anonymously and did really good things for this city. So Doug Goodwin, his business card reads, "And then I wrote." And he's written many, many songs, and he's been in the building business. But let's hear it again for Doug Goodwin. And his wife, Joyce, is here with him this evening. And thank you again, Doug. Well, we're here tonight to honor a good friend of ours, Bob and I. And you need to introduce yourself. There's a lot of new people in Calabasas.
I'm Bob Hill. I was the second mayor of Calabasas, and I spent 7 years, along with a lot of other people, forming the city. 7 years before we became a city in '91. And I'm just here to talk about all the good things we have going for us. If you look around the city, there's no city our size had the accomplishments and the things that they pass on to their citizens like we do. And should I tell the story about James?
I think you should.
So James, I was on the city council, and James came to me and asked for my endorsement. And
that was what, 97? Thereabouts.
Probably.
A little later than that, maybe.
Maybe 96 or 97. So he asked for my endorsement. I didn't know anything about him, but turns out I know his aunt because my friend was a speaker in the assembly, Bob Moretti, and his aunt was Armenian, and I knew her in the past. So when we went out the door, he said, oh, and by the way, Addie already said to say hello, trying to make the thing work. But so I endorsed him, and then he walked every house in the city, every house and apartment in the city to get elected. And while he was out there on one of his speech-making missions, he finished his spiel on at the house he was at. And the woman said, "Man, you are really prepared and you know the issues. And I love your speaking style. Tell your father I'll vote for him." Because, you know, he looked very young. He still looks very young. And so that's where that came from.
And I'm just realizing he's not hearing any of these stories, so you have to share it with him at a later time. Well, one of the things that we've learned about James is that he's a collector. And, you know, he's been very responsible for putting this historical perspective that you're going to see tonight. You've already gotten a hint from the song. And he's the only elected official and the only mayor that I know that has a suit of armor in his living room.
Why, what's wrong with that?
Well, these days, a mayor probably needs a suit of armor, I can tell you that. Well, James always has a hidden agenda, I have to tell you this. You know, I've been working with James since he was elected or appointed to one of the commissions that we have in town. And I say he has a hidden agenda. For over a decade of serving on the board, and I'm a big fan of the California Contract Cities Association, of which he eventually became president 3 years ago. And he still organizes the California Contract Cities Association conferences. I think that it was secretly an opportunity for him to shop at the outlets in Cabazon and also shop the Palm Springs country fair that they have, because he has a whole front yard full of succulents and cactus, which he got out of his journeys to Palm Springs and all those conferences that we went to.
Yeah, I remember the days. He did love to come down there, and he was a guy who always made every meeting and brought back information to the city on things to do and how to do accomplishments.
Well, every time we went down there, we'd come back with money for a library or for street improvement or ambulance service and things like that.
And the other service that he's done for the city, he has consciously collected parts of history, and the history that we would have lost had he not, put it in his top drawer.
Well, and you're going to hear about this tonight as well, because James has some surprises, and he's got some guests here tonight that is, I think, going to tickle your fancy, and an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more of the history of Calabasas as well as our future.
I agree.
Well, I was going to ask for help from my friend Bob on the other side, because this is another thing that I'm going to tell on James. When we started the city, we realized that the tradition in what was then, I think, 460 cities in the state of California and elsewhere. If that's shining in your eyeballs, I'm sorry. But these are pins that all the cities have. Well, James would go to the Contract Cities Association and to the League of California Cities Association. If there was a pin anywhere on a map, in a bowl, on a wall, it would wind up in his pocket.
Is this yours?
This is mine, and he has eclipsed this by a long shot, I want to tell you. And it's a great way to get the word about Calabasas out to the public and make friends all over the United States, because his pin collection might even go internationally for all I know.
Could be. So you're going to see a pin collection from James. If he doesn't have it out here, he's going to talk about it. Dennis and James won first and second in the Hoarders contest in Calabasas.
Well, he's cleaning out his garage, and I'm doing the same thing at this point. So we're going to make sure that whatever is important winds up in the city's hands in some way. We're celebrating our city. We're celebrating the mayors that have served, the council members that have served, the commissioners that have served. And I wanted to just bring out our mayor, who is culminating our 25 years. He's the man who wrote the book on Calabasas, and I would say he's the man who wrote the books on Calabasas. So, James Bozajian, the Honorable James Bozajian, our mayor, would you please come up?
James is the 25th mayor of Calabasas, and several times over.
All right, well, I'm going to get my revenge in the next 45 minutes, guys.
We knew that. That's why we wanted
Anyways,
to
dear
be
friends.
preemptory. But
So,
knock them dead.
welcome, first of all, to the 2016 Calabasas State of the City Address. Let's show a clipping of the first State of the City Address. This is me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm James Bozajian. I'm the mayor of Calabasas, and I want to welcome you to the first State of the City Address sponsored by the City of Calabasas in conjunction with the Calabasas Chamber of Commerce. We've come a long way. And that's me, that's a caricature of me that I liked very much, so I decided to use it tonight in lieu of a picture. So we have a bunch of special guests tonight that I want to introduce. We have from our former City Council, Dennis Washburn, our first mayor, Bob Hill, Karen Foley, Michael Harrison, Lucy Martin, Jonathan Wolfson, and Barry Groveman. From our present City Council, we have Mayor Pro Tem Mary Sue Maurer, Councilmember Fred Gaines, Councilmember David Shapiro, and Councilmember Alicia Weintraub. From the Hidden Hills City Council, we have Councilmember Marv Landon. We have Patrick Daverin, captain of the Lost Hills Sheriff Station. And finally, we have Anthony Williams, the division chief of the LA County Fire Department. As 12 of the 15 living city council members, that's ties a record. So we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance, and for the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd ask representatives from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and Fire Department to help lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. One of the most significant events that happened in Calabasas this past year was the June 4th Calabasas Old Fire. And it was a devastating fire. It burned 519 acres. It destroyed one structure. It damaged several other structures. But it really could have been a lot worse for those of you who saw it. It was a very significant blaze in our residential communities, and there was fortunately no loss of life and only a few very minor injuries. And for that, we have the Sheriff's Department and the Fire Department and the first responders to thank. 480 fire personnel were out there. So please join me in thanking them. Thank you very much. Okay, moving along, I want to discuss, first of all, how the year started out. And that was with the Calabasas general municipal election held on November 3rd of 2015. It was the first and only time we had a Calabasas election in November of odd years, because, pursuant to a state mandate, we will now be holding our elections in November of even years. There were 2 seats up on the City Council, and they were filled by Councilmember Fred Gaines, who was reelected, and newcomer Alicia Weintraub, with whom it's been a pleasure to serve. It's nice to have new blood on the council. Take that from me, 20 years. We had a record turnout of 29%. Now, it may not sound like much, but that is a Calabasas record, and I attribute that largely to the efforts by our staff and our city clerk to get voter outreach and awareness out in the community. We had one local measure on the ballot. That would be Measure O, the Open Space Initiative, which I was the primary sponsor and author of. And I'm very proud to announce it passed by a margin of 89% to 11%. As always, open space is one of the biggest priorities for our residents, and I hope it always remains that way. These elections were held concurrently with elections for the Las Virgenes Unified School District. 2 trustees were elected to the school board, and they had their own measure, Measure E, an extension of the parcel tax that was approved by the voters to help financially support the schools. The city has a long and helpful relationship with the Las Virgenes Unified School District. We have the benefit of having a wonderful public school system here. Our city always has been and always will continue to be very supportive of our school district, with many joint programming uses and financial assistance. So thank you to the school district for helping to make Calabasas such a great place to live. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the past year, we did have an election last week. And I could go on a lot about the election, but I won't, because we have a very special program in Calabasas by 2 very prominent, nationally well-known, knowledgeable, and modest political commentators. And if you want to know how Calabasas voted and the surrounding communities voted in our elections, you can stay tuned for our CTV special, which will be airing starting next week. Let's turn to special city events that occurred in the past year. We run a lot of community events. Our premier event is the Calabasas Pumpkin Festival. It's a 2-day celebration of our heritage, and although the Pumpkin Festival is over 40 years old, the city's been running it since 2005. This year, we had a record attendance of more than 15,000 people during the 2 days. Thank you to our staff for all the great work you did on that. Now, we also have many other events throughout the year. We have our 4th of July activities, our fun run around the lake, our pet show, our summer splash party, and of course, our fireworks spectacular at the high school. We have the Calabasas Fine Arts Festival, Earth Day, Arbor Day, Extravaganza Egg Hunt, our Summer Sunsets concerts, and outdoor movie nights. This year, in keeping with a more recent tradition, we had Calabasas Dodger Night, where the mayor gets to throw out the first pitch. So let's see, I'm going to be a very good sport. Let's see how the mayor did this year on the first pitch.
Throwing out a first pitch tonight is the mayor of Calabasas, James R. Bozajian. And catching for Mayor Bozajian is his nephew, Lucas Esquijan. Okay, Your Honor, the mound is yours. Nice pitch, Mayor. And thank you, Calabasas, for attending tonight's Dodgers game.
That was a great catch by my nephew. I didn't think it was that bad, considering I'm not a pitcher. I won't tell you what he and his friends said about it because I can't on the air. But I'm going to stick to politics. So, our Community Services Department oversees the management and operations at our many parks and recreational facilities, and they did this year as well. They offered hundreds of educational and recreational activities and programs. One of the biggest success stories of the year was our Calabasas Clubhouse Preschool in its 17th year of operation. It's a city-owned facility, and last year we experienced a significant drop in the participation. We had only 81 students enrolled, and that really threatened the future existence of the preschool. But within a few short months, the city, working in conjunction with the community, the parents, the businesses, helped raise money and awareness for the preschool, and I'm proud to announce that it went from 81 students to right now 140 students, which I believe is a record. So congratulations, we're keeping the preschool. The newest addition to our Calabasas Civic Center is the Calabasas Senior Center. And it's the fruition of years of planning and efforts by our local seniors and our Calabasas Savvy Seniors participants. It's a gathering place for our growing senior community, and this year we are proud to inaugurate it. It's a 9,500 square foot facility. Groundbreaking occurred in June of 2015. And in June of 2016, we incorporated the ribbon cutting and dedication ceremony into our 25th anniversary celebration. In just a few short months, the Community Center has 490 members. It offers now over 30 new special interest clubs to focus on specific areas of interest and activities. It has its own website and monthly newsletter, and the registration and participation in our many Savvy Seniors activities has jumped significantly since the facility's opening. At this time, I want to present someone very special with recognition. We have, from time to time, people in the community who go above and beyond and who volunteer their time and their efforts to help improve awareness of Calabasas. As everybody knows, I am a big history buff. And so at this time, I'd like to invite up to the stage my friend, Kimberly Castellon. You have a lot of fans out there. Let me tell you about Kim. She is a local girl. She attended Round Meadow Elementary School, A.E. Wright Middle School, and Agoura High School. She then turned around and raised her own family here in Calabasas and Hidden Hills. She has a passion for history and historical preservation. And as part of her career, she was vice president of merchandising at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art for 20 years. She's a division head of the Conference of California Historical Societies. Most importantly, she's actively involved in local historic preservation. She's served for many years, as a board member of the Calabasas Las Virgenes Historical Society. She's a founding member of the Cultural Arts Council of Agoura Hills. She has archived and maintained the Historical Society's collection for a long time. In 2013, she edited Images of America, Agoura Hills, which was a pictorial history book about the city of Agoura Hills and the surrounding communities. She then, in 2015, undertook to author Images of America, Calabasas. And that was published on November 30th of 2015. It is a very good-selling book, spreading the word about our community nationally. It's on its third printing. And one of the things about Kim that I love so much is how dedicated she is. She actually donated her author's fees to the Historical Society for this book, and she spent untold hours working on it. Earlier this year, she was instrumental in establishing our first city museum, a room with a city view, as part of our anniversary. So Kim, I want to present you with this token of our appreciation, a box.
Wow.
Let's move over here so everyone can see it. Actually, it's more than a box. I'll open it up. It is a key to the city. And it says, Kimberly Castellon, thank you for helping to preserve Calabasas history, November 16th, 2016.
Oh, James, you are too good to me.
Would you like to say something?
Yes, I would. Yes. Thank you. Wow, I got the key. You know, this started out as a project. It was a dedication to my mother, our mother. I'm sorry, my brother's in the audience with my sister-in-law and my nephew, and one of my 3 sons is here tonight. And I got a call from Deborah Steller, and she said, "Are you the one that's writing the book about Calabasas?" And before I knew it, I was in City Hall in a room, a management room, meeting room, around a table with Deborah and Bob and James, Mayor James Bozajian. Well, that was very impressive for me, and we started to collaborate about this book. And Deborah literally gave me any service I needed to expedite the printing because timing is everything. If we got our act together, we could print the book in time for the 25th anniversary of the city's, of the city. So we started working, and I spent hours, thankfully, to the historical archives. The Calabasas Las Virgenes Historical Archives are kept in the library at Calabasas, and I was like a pig in poop. I got to be in that archival room for days, but you know, I've lived here since the 60s, so a lot of what I was looking through was stuff I lived through. It was really cool. And the book was printed, and James has been wonderful at marketing the book. I think anyone who comes in contact with James has been asked if they want to buy one. But I think the highlight for me in writing this book was that, first of all, initially I was with the mayor of Calabasas, but the mayor of Calabasas became a friend, and we are friends. And for my birthday, James gave me our book, because James wrote the foreword, and I asked if he would please write the cityhood chapter, because I think he knows a lot about cityhood. So he gave me, for my birthday, an inscribed book, a personal message to me from him. And so tonight, I would like to give you,
Thank you
your book that's personally inscribed
Thank you so
from
much.
me to you.
Thank you.
So, thank you, James. Thank you. Can I take my...
Yes, oh yes, and let me give you the box for the box.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Okay, let's turn to the city's finances. Our finance department oversees a budget of approximately $23 million annually. We have a reserve of $19 million, and this year we earned an upgraded AAA rating from Moody's Investment Services. Our media operations department now has a new name that more accurately reflects its scope. The official name is Media, Library, and Information Services Department. It continues to manage the city's CTV cable station, website, quarterly Calabasas Recreation brochure and newsletter, social media, Connect with Calabasas app, and e-news bulletins and other electronic notifications. The Calabasas Library had an estimated 167,000 people visiting it in the past year, and they checked out about 188,000 items. It doesn't tell me how many of them were returned, but I'm assuming most of them are back in the library. The library offered 380 special programs, and the participation was over 10,000 people attending them. Our staff obtained 2 grants to provide high-speed broadband service at the library. Turning now to public safety and emergency preparedness. Calabasas was ranked the 25th safest city in California out of 482 cities by SafeWise, an organization which tracks public safety. That's an improvement of 5 spots from last year. The city coordinated Calabasas Emergency Response Team, CERT, and the Calabasas Emergency Response Program, CERP. The city also provided emergency preparedness training in the area of earthquakes, active shooter situations, and of course conducted its annual flu clinic in order to offer vaccinations for our local residents. One of the most enjoyable things for me this year was to be the mayor during the 25th anniversary celebration of the city's incorporation. We incorporated on April 5th of 1991, and we've had a whole year of celebration. It started out with the mayor's luncheon on April 5th of 2016. Those are the council members who were present at the luncheon, and that was sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. And then we had a weekend of activities June 24th to 26th to celebrate throughout the city. We started out that weekend with the opening of our museum, A Room with a City View, in the Calabasas Library. And we had a historical reception there. We estimate over 400 people attended. It was the largest such reception the city's ever held. I know because when I went to go get something to eat, after I was done all of my ceremonies, it was like some locusts came in, and there was not a scrap left. So, in any event, we also had the Senior Center grand opening the following day. We had historical trolley tours. We had a food pantry and school supplies drive by our local youth. And then we capped off the weekend with an anniversary concert the next day at Calabasas Lake. We had the publication of our Calabasas 1991 to 2016 book, which offered a reflective look about the 25 years of city history. And very importantly, we commissioned a special work of art that we are going to unveil tonight for the very first time. And so I'd like to invite up here somebody, a local artist that we commissioned to do this work of art that we're going to show you. You can actually see the work of art after in the reception time because it's got a lot of great detail. Maureen Gaffney Wolfson is the artist. And I'm going to have her tell you a little bit about what she did, but first, I want to ask our staff to unveil the work of art. There we go. Maureen?
Thank you, Mayor Bozajian, and all the members of the City Council for having me here this evening and allowing me to capture on canvas this beautiful city, old and new. I began this painting by reading a book titled Images of America, Calabasas. I have a copy with your mayor's signature. And I did my research with this book. Then next I spent many days walking and studying Calabasas, which took hundreds of pictures at different times of the day, sometimes starting as early as sunrise. What I saw was already a work of art. The beauty of the architecture, the remarkable sculptures, and the landscaping and the cornucopia of waterfalls and ponds. It was just a colorful garden, and it stood out. And oh, how beautiful it is from season to season, and a rainbow of beauty to the eyes and delight to the senses. My challenge was to how I was going to capture this 13 square mile of color and beauty on history, and the old and the new, and compose it on a 40 square foot canvas. It took me almost 8 months time from 10 o'clock till dusk to compose and paint what you are looking at tonight. I am an overachiever, as you can see. It's a big painting, and someone who relishes a challenge, and I enjoyed every minute I put into it. The mystics say that creation was the process of God exposing the matter contained in energy, and challenging us to use our souls to expose the contained and put it into matter, the energy contained and put it into matter. Without a doubt, one of the finest tools available for that task is art. As with art, something cold and solid is brought to vibrant life, and the energy of the subject is unleashed. I poured my heart and soul into this project, and my only hope is that this painting provides a glimpse into the energy of this wonderful city and brings a pleasure to all who view it. Now I'm here to say how much I appreciate being a part of your history, as well as being a part of the creative wonderland and color and beauty of Calabasas. All artists have a need to be recognized, and I would like to say to all of Calabasas, thank you. And please come and visit me if you're around the Calabasas Gardens. I have a showroom there, and I'd love to spend some time with you if you're in that area. Oh, and I have one last thing to say. Can I put this here?
Sure.
Okay. Happy anniversary to you.
That was impromptu.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, Calabasas. Happy anniversary to you.
Please take that with you. Thank you. It's beautiful. And after the presentation, please feel free to come up and look at all the beautiful detail in there. Maureen, you outdid yourself. I want to turn to our community development department and what was done in the city in the past year. We had the new Avanti project completed its first phase. It's a mixed-use development in Calabasas Park. It consists of 72 luxury condominiums, 8 affordable apartments for rent, and 9,000 square feet of commercial space. Paxton Townhomes is now under development along Las Virgenes Road, south of the 101 freeway. Construction's underway of a 78-unit townhouse development there. We had many new businesses come to Calabasas in the past year, including Audi of Calabasas, Chipotle Mexican Grill, Blackbird General Store in Old Town, and an annex to Pepperdine University. We had a number of completions or planned expansions of existing businesses and facilities, and that included Viewpoint School, Bob Smith BMW, Cheesecake Factory, and Hilton Garden Inn. Future developments approved but not yet completed include the Rondell Oasis Hotel, the Calabasas Nissan dealership, and Las Virgenes Village Retail Center in Malibu Canyon. I'd like to acknowledge at this time the Calabasas Chamber of Commerce and to mention that they've worked very closely. The Chamber of Commerce predates the city by many, many years, but since our incorporation, we have partnered with the Chamber of Commerce on many things, many activities, and we actually contract with them because they are our official visitor and tourism bureau. They worked very closely with us in promoting the growth and development of local businesses in Calabasas under its new chairman, Pamela Kissel. I'm sure she's here. And its board. A lot of dedicated men and women with small businesses here in Calabasas that we try to promote and make sure they're successful. But thank you for all your efforts on behalf of the city. Let's turn to traffic, transportation, and public works. Our Transportation and Public Works Department has general responsibility for streetscape and landscape improvements throughout the city. You can see here, one of those improvements is we were in the process of upgrading all of our median signage. Let's take a look at some of the specific projects that have been worked on. We have the Las Virgenes Road Scenic Corridor Improvement Project located between the 101 freeway and Lost Hills Road on Las Virgenes Road. And it involves the construction of an additional lane in each direction the installation of sidewalks, continuous bike lanes, and new traffic signals, and the beautification with the addition of landscaped perimeters and medians. The Lost Hills Road Interchange Project, which is underway right now, is at the location of the 101 freeway and the intersection of Lost Hills Road. We are reconfiguring the on-ramps and off-ramps to improve the flow of traffic. We are going to widen the bridge from 2 lanes to 5 lanes, and they're going to add 2 bike lanes and 1 pedestrian walkway. The Mulholland Highway Scenic Corridor improvements have been completed, located between Calabasas High School and Mulholland Drive. These improvements included corridor traffic calming, intersection safety improvements, roadway beautification, elimination of pedestrian gaps, enhanced bicycle facilities, and landscaping elements in the installation of dual retaining walls for slope stabilization. The Calabasas Park Gateway Project, located along Parkway Calabasas south of the 101 freeway. As you can see, it involved the installation of a city monument sign, a new irrigation system, perimeter and median beautifications, and the restoration of a historical gateway structure. The Las Virgenes Creek bank stabilization, stream restoration, and fish barrier removal, located between Meadow Creek Lane and Lost Hills Bridge, involved the stabilization and restoration of Las Virgenes Creek to its natural condition, and that's also going on right now. We managed to install an electric vehicle charging station in the Civic Center parking lot for the use of our residents. We participated this year in the America in Bloom competition, which is a national competition among municipalities for landscape beautification efforts. And this year, we achieved our highest ever honors. We got the 4 Blooms Award, and we wound up being designated for the Circle of Champions. In McCoy Creek, we conducted emergency channel improvements and natural restoration. We also installed more than 3,000 screens, automatic retractable screens, and 1,200 storm drain catch basins throughout the city to prevent trash and debris from entering storm drains and polluting our waterways. In Old Town Calabasas, we managed with grant money to purchase a vacant parcel of land, which we are in the process, and it will be open very soon, of converting to a free park and ride for the use of the public. There'll be a total of 63 parking spaces. There will be a bike shelter and rack, and there will be an electric vehicle charging station there as well. A number of acknowledgments tonight. I'd like to acknowledge the fine work of our city manager, Tony Corrales, and our department heads. Please stand up. They make all of this possible. I'd like to acknowledge our media operations department, Deborah Steller and her crew, for their wonderful work on presenting the state of the city. I'd like to thank the Agoura Hills Calabasas Community Center for the use of its facilities, and Anne-Marie Flaherty, the executive director, is somewhere out there. And I see my family in the audience. My father, Robert, my mother, Frances, and my brother, Jerry, are here. So now comes one of the highlights of the mayor's speech, and that is the Citizen of the Year. Every year, by tradition, the mayor designates one individual in the city, and we have so many volunteers. We have so many people on our commissions. Can I get the commissioners to stand up? Anybody who volunteers for the city on a commission or a committee? These people volunteer their time. And we rely on their hard work and their counsel. So, but the mayor gets to designate one person who has gone to the extent of volunteering, kind of a Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, I could probably tell you a 3-letter word and you would know exactly who this person is, but we try to build a little bit of suspense around here. So what I'm going to do, something was passed along to me, a written passage that this person wrote that I think encapsulates why she is getting the award. And now I know I said she, so half of you are going, you know, I thought it was my year to get it. And I'm quoting her. I find it to be extremely gratifying and enriching to surround myself with the cultural arts. Volunteering in the arts has enriched my life, and it brings me great pleasure to see others benefit as well. Inspiration is all around you. You need only to reach out and explore. I am a native Californian surrounded by beauty and art every day in my hometown, and it is my life's enthusiasm to help bring art to the forefront. I've been blessed to have received an informal art education by way of world travel and have spent years exploring an array of cultures and communities. I learned early on that I am not just drawn to an artist's work, but I am equally curious about the artists themselves. The intrigue behind their inspiration is what captivates me the most. I'm honored tonight to designate the Calabasas Citizen of the Year, Lorraine Morick. The three-letter word was art. And when you think of art, if you're active in the city, you think of her automatically. So I had to build up a little suspense. So Laureen, let me tell you a little bit about Laureen, and then I'm going to let you say some words. She has lived in Calabasas with her proud husband Sheldon, who's over there for over 30 years. And thank you for having us borrow her for all this time, because we know that it's of your time too. Laureen has served on the Parks, Recreation, and Education Commission since 1996. She helped found and she chairs the Calabasas Arts Council from 1997 to the present. One of the things she enjoys doing the most, I'm sure she'll tell you, is the Calabasas Arts Festival, which she has been responsible for helping to bring to the city since 1997 every year. She hosts the CTV program, that's this picture that you're looking at here, Eye on the Arts. She also assists with many of our special projects, such as the mural in the library, in the children's section of the library that she helped bring to the city, and the commissioning of the new statue, which is going to honor our 25th anniversary, which is slated to be installed soon at the Civic Center Plaza. She organizes many other art-related activities, including local art exhibits, museum tours, cultural art days, photography contests, youth art contests, and she serves on the Art and Public Places Committee. So for that, Laureen, and for much, much more, for which we could never really repay you, all you're going to get is a plaque.
I love it.
Let me move over here. So this says, City of Calabasas, Laureen Morick, 2016 City of Calabasas Citizen of the Year, in recognition of her outstanding contributions toward promoting parks, recreation, education, and the arts in the City of Calabasas.
Wow. Thank you. I'm surprised and honored to get this beautiful plaque. And I want to tell all the citizens, you can be Citizen of the Year too. But all you do is find what you love, and this city will welcome you to have opportunities to join the senior citizens, join the arts and culture, join the library, join with all of our community members, join with City Council. Will welcome you. So step forward and come to the city with your passion and your ideas, and you could be Citizen of the Year, and for sure you could join my committee. Thank you very much.
Let's see if it goes down here. Lauren? So we're winding down here. You've been very patient. Thank you. You know, this is a very momentous occasion for me. I gave, as you know, the first State of the City address almost 18 years ago. It's just been a wonderful tradition. It's the highlight of the mayor's term in office. And I want to thank each and every one of you for making it a special year for me. We're going to do something fun now that we haven't tried before. Hopefully it'll work out. I'm going to invite all the city council members, past and present, to the front. And you remember that little song that you heard on your way in? I don't know if you have. We're going to give out a CD of that and the lyrics. And, they've given them out already. And we're also going to show the lyrics again on the screen. And this city council is going to lead us into a rousing, I promise you, just like when I was practicing for this, it stays in your mind. You'll be humming it tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Also, we're going to invite Doug Goodwin, the composer, who has given so generously to the city. Doug, why don't you come up here too? And we're going to sing the Calabasas song. And then we're going to exit to a reception in the back.
Why don't we get Maureen up here, because she can actually sing.
Can anyone sing?
Everyone sings. San Fernando Valley. I call my home, and I'm proud to say that I come from Calabasas, last of the old west, but first in my heart. We've got lakes and parks and streams, breeze and hills of green. I can't think of any place I'd rather kick my boots